welcome to humanity's Vanguard HFY and sci-fi stories, where humanity survives what the galaxy cannot. The warning came before the doors finished opening. If you ingest the serum, mortality will never claim you again. Commander Taylor Rourke heard it clearly as he stepped onto the alien ark, his boots striking a floor grown rather than built, warm and faintly alive beneath his feet. The chamber stretched upward like a cathedral carved from light, walls rippling with slow pulses of energy that tracked his movement as if the ship itself were curious. Across the hall waited the custodians, beings who had abandoned flesh so long ago they wore it now like ceremonial armor. Their leader hovered forward, a lattice of radiant filaments forming something close to a humanoid silhouette. Every other species trembled when summoned here. Humans arrived with recorded heart rates and backup plans. Rourke had died twice already in service to the Coalition and returned both times through stubborn medical miracles. Fear no longer impressed him. The custodian's voice entered his mind without sound. You advance too quickly. You adapt well. And now, humanity stands at a threshold that has broken civilizations before. The ark sealed behind him. The choice, clearly, would not wait. The custodians called themselves the Continuum, shepherds of younger species who had traded bodies for eternity. Their existence spanned epochs. Their mistakes were measured in millennia. They projected a star map between them, human influence spreading like fractures through once static borders. Trade lanes rerouted. Wars ended early. Old powers diminished. You convert industrial tools into weapons. You reverse technologies without permission. You survive scenarios modeled as extinction events. The tone was not accusation. It was concern edged with something closer to alarm. Rourke studied the map and noted what they did not highlight. The refugee corridors humanity had opened, the border world stabilized by human engineers who ignored acceptable loss equations. The Continuum did not value chaos. Humans thrived in it. We have intervened twice in galactic history at moments like this, the custodian continued. Each time we offered ascension. The image shifted to luminous entities drifting between stars, immune to time. Freedom from decay. From death. Rourke exhaled slowly. Immortality offered not as a gift, but as a containment strategy. The custodian extended a crystalline vessel filled with liquid brilliance. The serum initiates conversion, the custodian warned. Enhanced cognition. Extended lifespan. Neural compatibility with continuum systems. Once begun, the process cannot be halted. Within 1 century, ascension must complete or your mind will collapse under its own expansion. The vessel hovered inches from Rourke's hand. He thought of Lieutenant Hale, who rewired a reactor with scrap metal and prayer to hold a collapsing moon in orbit. Of Dr. Sato, who ignored alien medical doctrine and saved 3 species by experimenting anyway. Of Earth, where death was no longer sacred, only unsolved. Humanity did not fear the end. They treated it like a puzzle. You would cease to be human, the custodian pressed. Your people would follow or fracture. Rourke took the vessel. It was heavier than physics allowed, as if weighted by futures. He met the custodian's gaze. You're offering us forever, he said calmly. But you've already stopped becoming without ceremony, without permission, he drank. The serum burned like liquid electricity, rewriting him from the inside out. The Continuum recoiled not in anger, but in genuine shock. Systems lit up across the ark as Rourke's neural patterns spiked beyond predicted thresholds. You accepted without consensus, the custodian said, fragments of unease rippling through its form. Without negotiation. Rourke flexed his fingers, watching light respond to his thoughts. You said it would make me think faster and live longer, he replied. That's not transcendence. That's an upgrade. The custodian tried to warn him of inevitability, of surrender, of the loss of return. Rourke smiled, teeth very human. You think immortality ends the story, he said. For us, it just removes the deadline. Data streams opened uninvited as his mind interfaced instinctively with continuum systems. He saw inefficiencies, safeguards, assumptions no one had challenged in a million years. The custodians sensed it too. This path is irreversible. Rourke turned toward the exit. Good, he said. So is progress. Behind him, the Ark began recalculating humanity not as a species to uplift, but as a variable no equation could contain. By the time Rourke returned to human space, the serum had already altered him beyond baseline parameters. He processed battlefield simulations subconsciously, optimized supply chains in his sleep, and detected flaws in continuum encryption before their monitors flagged intrusion. Earth reacted exactly as predicted chaotically. Some governments condemned the act. Others demanded replication. Underground labs began deconstructing stolen sensor data within days. Humanity did not wait for permission. They never had. The continuum transmitted warnings gentle at first, then increasingly urgent. Ascension requires unity, they insisted. Singularity demands conformity. Humans responded with divergence. Black market variants of the serum appeared. Hybrid models. Reversible prototypes. One faction attempted biological immortality alone, rejecting digitization entirely. Another sought cyclic mortality, choosing when to die, then return. The continuum watched in mounting dread as humanity treated eternity not as an endpoint, but as raw material. Rourke stood at the center of it all, living proof that the rules could be bent and survived. The crisis came when a continuum arc vanished near human-controlled space. Panic rippled through immortal minds unused to loss. They confronted Rourke, demanding answers. He gave them one. Humans had not attacked. They had improved the arc, installing redundancies, autonomy, and the unthinkable, an option to return to flesh. This is heresy, the custodian declared. Rourke shook his head. Its preference, he explained, simply immortality without choice was stagnation. Eternity without sensation became memory without meaning. Humans would ascend, descend, and ascend again if they wished. Because they could. Because someone would want to feel rain, or pain, or hunger again. The continuum faltered, their perfect logic unraveling under something irrational. Hope. Fear. Curiosity. They had transcended emotion so long ago they had forgotten its power. And now humanity had reintroduced it weaponized, optional, and irreversible. In the end, the galaxy did not burn. It adapted because humans forced it to. Some joined the continuum. Some surpassed it. Some remained stubbornly mortal by choice. Death became optional. Life became modular. And humanity? Humanity became terrifying not because they could live forever, but because they refused to agree on how. Rourke remained, centuries later, watching new stars ignite with human signatures. The continuum no longer warned others about humanity's violence. They warned them about humanity's imagination. Because an immortal species that still acted like it was running out of time was the most dangerous force the universe had ever produced. If you want more stories where humans break the rules of the cosmos itself, subscribe to humanity's Vanguard HFY and sci-fi stories. The universe isn't ready, but we are.